Today I'm going to show you how to make wicking buckets. They're fairly easy. Everything I need to do this is all here. I got a drill, 3-inch net cups, hole saw for the 3-inch net cup, and a drill bit. That's pretty much all you need. And you'll need your inner bucket, your outer bucket, and I got my local compost in town for free. So I went out and filled 4 buckets with that. I will transfer the dirt over to the inner bucket when I'm done drilling all my holes. And the outer bucket's fairly simple, and I'll show you all the steps involved. So you're gonna want a 3-inch hole saw. Yeah, this is my 3-inch hole saw, 3-inch net cup. I'm gonna drill in the center of each bucket the 3-inch hole. The net cup's going to go inside of that, and that's going to be your wicking portion of the bucket. When I start the buckets, I usually like to start with a drill bit, and I'll drill 1 hole in the center of each bucket, and then I'm going to drill a series of holes around the outside of the bucket. So, and I use the same drill bit. This is my hole saw chuck. And I just take the hole saw out, and then I drill all my holes that I need. A lot of videos, they show you drilling the hole with the hole saw on it. And what you do is you drill the hole and try not to let the hole saw catch, and then you switch the direction of the drill to counterclockwise and cut your hole counterclockwise. You get a much smoother cut that way. But a lot of times the hole saw will grab. So I drill the hole first, and then I'll get the hole saw and put it in. So I went ahead and drilled all the buckets. I got 4 buckets all drilled out. I put one in the direct center of the bucket, of each bucket, and then I just did a whole series of holes around where the net cup will be. These are all just for drainage. I'm gonna go ahead and put my 3-inch hole saw on here. I'm gonna drill out each hole, and then we'll continue. And you'll notice I didn't even put the drill in reverse. I just went ahead and drilled them all out with the regular rotation, because if you drill the center hole first and then put the hole saw on, it's really, you know, you can do whatever you want, but cuts a clean hole. Just take your time, let the drill do the work, and that's about it. I'll show you a little close-up of what I did. And that is about it. It's fairly simple. I would say each bucket takes about 5 to 10 minutes to make. It's very well worth the labor, because these buckets work phenomenal. And at the end of the video, I'll take you to my garden, and I'll show you a couple buckets that I made and planted a couple ghost peppers in them. Okay, so now that the holes are drilled, what you need to do is take your bottom bucket. This is the one with no holes. That is going to be your bucket where it's going to hold the water for the bucket. Now, to get the height, what you need is a drain hole about 2 to 3 inches up on the side of the bucket. The way to find the height of that, let's say, you take your wicking bucket and you put it basically where the bucket's going to sit, and you find a reference on the side of the bucket. I'm saying, all right, there's some writing on the side of the bucket, and it comes up to a line here, a little bit above a line. And you pick a good reference, or you just grab a marker and mark the bottom of where the bucket will sit. And you want to put 1 or 2 drainage holes on the side of the bucket. I'm using the 1/4-inch bit that I used in the hole saw. So I'm going to actually drill 2 holes on the side of the bucket, and that'll be the height. About 2 to 3 inches up the side of the bucket. You don't want the water any deeper in the bottom bucket, or the plant could drown. So I'm going to go ahead and drill the holes, and we'll take it from there. Okay, I went ahead and drilled the holes in the bottom bucket. This is the bucket that's going to hold the water. I want the water level to be just below the top bucket. I want the wicking basket, or the net cup, to absorb water and suck it up into the top bucket. But here you'll see I put a couple holes there. That's to make sure the water doesn't go any higher than that. It stays about that level or drops down as the water evaporates. And that's the steps for the bottom bucket. The top bucket, I also want to add, that's where the net cup's going to go. But on the top bucket, you also want to add a hole big enough for a piece of 3/4 inch pipe. The 3/4 inch pipe, people often ask, is what's that pipe sticking out of the bucket for? Well, what that pipe does is it gives you a way to fill the bucket up without dumping a whole bunch of water in the dirt. You just fill the bucket up with water and keep the dirt on top dry. Because your pepper plants, you know, they like a little bit of moisture, but not too much. That's why the wicking bucket works so well for peppers. Again, I highly recommend this. I'm going to go and get a piece of 3/4 inch PVC. Now you want the PVC to stick up about like 2 feet, so the plant, you know, will grow up and it doesn't like cover the pipe and make it difficult to fill the bucket up with water. So I'm going to go get a piece of PVC, drill a hole to the size of that pipe. Now you want it to be almost exact to the outside diameter to the pipe. It can be a 3/4 inch, could be a 1 inch, whatever you want to use, whatever you have available. But I usually use like a 3/4, that's fine. So that's what the next step will be. And after I drill that 3/4 inch, probably a 1 inch hole for a 3/4 inch pipe. Once I drill that hole, then I will put the net cup and the pipe in, and the only thing left to do is to fill the top bucket up with soil. And I will show you those steps as I go. I just wanted to take a little moment to show you what I'm using for hole saws. Over at Harbor Freight, this is a non-sponsored video by the way, but Harbor Freight has this little kit. It was like 17 bucks. As you can see, it's got every possible size you'll probably ever need, especially for making gardening related projects like wicking buckets. But it goes all the way up to like 6 inches, I think, 6 inches down to like a 1/2 inch. And you can just basically hold your PVC pipe to each hole saw and come up with the exact size. Because the reason why you want a nice tight fit with your PVC pipe is obviously when you fill up that bucket with dirt, basically you fill up the wicking bucket and continue to just fill the whole bucket up, because the wicking bucket needs to have dirt in it as well, so it acts as a wick to pull the water up into the top bucket. But if you have a hole that's too big, then while you're filling up the bucket, it's just going to put a lot of dirt down into the bottom bucket and make a big mess. So you want a fairly good fit. Yeah, the dirt can fall through the holes too, but just make the hole about the same size as the outside diameter of the pipe, and you should be very happy. So I'm going to go ahead and drill the holes to the exact size, and then we'll do the next step, which will be filling up the bucket with dirt. Very exciting. Okay, so I drilled it's about probably a 1 inch hole. Well, actually this is a 1/2 inch piece of pipe that I used. 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1 inch, whatever you got available. You know, you don't want to spend a lot of money on these. But so I drilled that hole on top. Now the one on top, that's where the pipe's going to slip through. I'll show you here. And it's going to go through as well as the net cup. So inside your bottom bucket, it's going to hold the water. Remember, you got the 2 drain holes here. You're going to put this bucket inside with the pipe and the net cup, and you're going to put it together just like that. Then you're going to fill it up with some good compost, and once you fill it up with compost, it supports the pipe and it'll stay upright, and you have yourself a wicking bucket, and you'll be very happy with it. Once you fill it up with dirt, go ahead and plant your plants, and give it a good watering on top. Soak the soil. That's what I do anyway. And then because the soil is going to be dry, and you don't want it, it's going to be a new plant, probably 2 inches tall, and you don't want it to be placed in dry soil. So obviously just water the plant like you normally would. Give it a good watering. Potting soil, you'd be amazed how much soil or how much water that soil will absorb. So just give it a good soaking, and then go ahead and fill up the bottom bucket as well. You can use a funnel, or if you have a spray nozzle that's small enough to fit in the hole, just fill her up until you start seeing water come out of the weep holes, and you got yourself a wicking bucket that'll serve you very well for many years. So I'll show you the finished product. I'm going to go ahead and plant some basil. I got 4 basil plants, little seedlings, but I'm going to put 2 in each bucket, and then eventually I'll update you with pictures or videos of how the plants are doing. But I'm going to also show you the ghost pepper plants that I have in my buckets in my garden that are doing unbelievable. So next I'll have this top bucket full of dirt. I already have the bottom bucket inserted, and it'll be ready for some planting. All right, and there you have it. Two basil plants. I'm going to put 2 more in another one of my pots, but this is your finished product. You got your pipe to fill the bottom bucket. This soil is already fairly moist, so I'm not going to have to water these too much. It's compost that I just got yesterday at the town composting center. But what I will do is I'm going to show you what this whole thing looks like inside. So there it is. That's the inside of the bucket. Now the water is going to be up over that net cup, and it'll absorb water from the bottom to keep the plant hydrated. I'm still going to go ahead, my first watering, I'm going to go ahead and give it a good watering, and I'll fill the bottom bucket up, and I'll place it next to the garden and let them grow. So in the next clip I'll be showing you my ghost peppers. So I've posted pictures online a couple times with updates, and this will actually show you a live video of how they're doing. So all right, okay, this is that's the ghost pepper that's on its 2nd year. It was doing pretty bad. They were stunted last year, given to me by a friend, and I went ahead and planted them in hydroponics, which gave them a boost. They did well, but then a couple aphid attacks and they got pretty bad. So but now they're back this year. They're planted in soil. This is my ghost pepper plant that I bought at Lowe's or Home Depot, and as you can see, it's producing some nice peppers. But and there's also a lettuce plant. I didn't plant that, but that was in there too, and I'm just gonna let it grow. These are my flat beds with my raised beds. I planted some tomatoes in, but they say they're doing very well. And that's straight compost. I didn't mix it with anything, no dirt, nothing. I would recommend it, but I don't know, maybe your compost is more acid than mine, but this stuff is done unbelievable. These plants are doing they're struggling now because it's midsummer and I planted way too many in a small space. So I think that's why they're struggling. But all right, that's it for now. Hope you enjoy.